Hey everyone, I'm Joe and today I'm doing a book review of Dark Run by Mike Books. First of all, I should do the disclaimer, and that is that I received a copy of this book for free from the publisher via NetGalley in return for an honest review, of which this definitely will be. This will be released on the 24th of May by Saga Press as well. So first of all, this is a science fiction book. It is part of a very loose series. So far there are 2 books in it. The second book is called Dark Sky, and that is actually already released with a different publisher, I believe, several months previously. So the plot. The book follows the crew of a spaceship called the Keiko. The crew is a combination of various sort of dubious sort of smugglers, mercenary types, and generally people that want to avoid the law for whatever personal reasons they have. They get a new job from a very dubious person, which by their standards is saying quite a lot, to deliver a mysterious cargo. They're not even sure what it is, it's just 3 big crates, to a certain place, in this case being Earth, at a very particular time. I mean really quite particular, almost down to the minute. And they're not sure why, but they're getting paid quite well for it. And unfortunately though, for them, things don't exactly go the way they want it to. You know, it's not just a nice, normal, sort of, albeit illegal, sort of smuggling run. It turns into an absolute disaster, and they have to go on the run and avoid people trying to generally murder them, as is often the case. And then obviously, well, the plot goes from there. I don't want to say too much more, but obviously they want to find out, have they been set up by the person who hired them? Was it a sort of police or government sting operation? Was it something even greater? They don't know, and they're definitely going to find out, however, and they're not going to be happy about it when they do. Obviously that's if they don't get killed first. So next I'll talk about the similarities. You cannot read the book, or at least I couldn't read this book, without thinking of 2 things. One of them is Firefly, directed by Joss Whedon in the early 2000s, which was sadly axed before its time by a very stupid studio, whom I'm still not happy with. And the other is the Ketty J series by Chris Wooding. Both of these have a sort of steampunk, sort of piratey type feel, with spaceships and a series of sort of roving adventures in them. And Dark Run, and presumably Dark Sky, which I will read, but obviously not just yet, has that same feel in a slightly different way, but you can understand people when they obviously immediately think of this, because I think of it as well. And frankly, if you're going to be compared to something, then neither of those 2 things are a bad thing to be compared to, because they're both brilliant. I mean, especially Firefly. You know, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about it ever. So, yeah, it's a good thing to be compared against. All of the crew members of the Keiko all have dubious pasts. Some of their pasts are really, really serious, and they've got fairly significant things they're trying to hide and run away from. Some of them are only fairly minor, but that's to be expected really. And whilst some people would say that the characters all follow a certain stereotype or archetype, frankly I'm not going to argue with that, because they kind of do. But how can you avoid that, frankly, if you're going to write a book based around this sort of idea? It's unavoidable to a certain degree. The characters all have their own personality, they all interact in different ways, and there are a few moments in the book where certain characters and the crew as a whole do things in a way that you wouldn't normally expect, considering the stereotypes that they follow and all the archetypes. They really, you know, go for left field, and it's really nice. And I like the characters. They're all interesting. Some of them are more likeable than others, but they're all just really well developed, they're well described, and they just fit into the world really well, in my opinion. And I really enjoy this part of the book. The characters just work, frankly, in every way. For the record, my favourite character would probably have to be Jenna. She is the youngest crew member. She is a female sort of hacker essentially, although in the book she's called a slicer, and she's just a fun character, and because of her age and inexperience, she's sort of learning her way with the crew. And indeed, in some ways, you're kind of seeing a lot of the book almost through her eyes, because she's unused to this setting, and obviously as a reader you're unused to this particular setting. So it's a sort of nice parallel trial. As far as the world and the world building is concerned, this world feels very dark and dirty and grimy and extremely well lived in. You get the distinct impression whilst reading that the locations where the crew are going to have had lots of people passing through before, and there's been various crimes committed in frankly most of them, and they've just been extremely well lived in. And it's a really nice feeling because it fits the way the crew work together and the way the crew are passing through these areas. Everything just works together to have a really interesting and really good feel to the book overall, which I'm personally quite impressed by. Oh, and another little thing is that in this book, the ship itself, the Keiko, isn't quite as significant as what it is in, for instance, Firefly or the Kitty J series. The Keiko, yes, it may be their ship and they may like the ship, but frankly, they could easily replace the ship if something went disastrously wrong, and it wouldn't be such a major problem. It's the crew that is important, and as long as they've got a ship to go on and one that they can obviously sort of customise a bit and make work for them, then it kind of wouldn't matter. And it's nice actually, and it's a bit of a difference with obviously the previous two things, you know, the Kitty J and the Firefly, where the ship is almost a character by itself. So overall, in summary, this is a fun, interesting book with good characters and good world building. It's easy to pick up and get into. It's also very easy to read. You know, there's no unusual complex technical terms in it overly much. It has that familiarity with Firefly and the Kitty J series. If you like both of them, which in my case I love both of them, then that really helps as well. And basically this is just a very good solid book, and one that I would recommend to science fiction fans who just want something a bit straightforward and fun to read, quite simply. So that's it for my review. If you've read this book or you would like to read it, then please leave a comment below and we can have a conversation. All my social media links can be found in the box below, as they always are. And with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another time. Bye for now.